Good evening, everyone, and thank you very much, Mr. Mishra and Preeti, for organizing such an amazing event and award ceremony. Things keeps changing, right? And when I met last with Mr. Narang, he was Mr. Narang, and today I'm meeting and he's Dr. Narang. So congratulations to you, Dr. Narang. Today, I'm really privileged to moderate a panel with industry leaders, including Dr. Narang, who is chairman and founder of Omega Seiki Mobility. We have Mr. Manoj K. Sundaram, who heads business development for Cars Zeiss India. We have Dr. Ramesh Singh, who is Senior Product Manager, Tata Elxsi, and Dr. Nikhil Agarwal, Managing Director, FITT IIT Delhi. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining the discussion today. If you look at the electric mobility growth, I think I need to tell you the topic of the discussion today, which is around India's journey towards a sustainable ecosystem. I think the sustainability is the keyword on which other speakers have already talked about. If you look at the journey of electric mobility in India, and if you try to track down from 2012 to 2025 in last 12 to 13 years, uh, there were so many things which were unimaginable at that point in time when we started debating about electric mobility in India. For example, whether startups have any role to play in India in a complex manufacturing ecosystem, whether India can achieve the kind of targets which India targets to go 30%, 50% electrification. Those targets and those discussions were happening mostly, honestly speaking, without much base. And and in the process, all kind of ecosystem players, including government institutions, OEMs, component manufacturers, service providers, they have all been in the learning phase. And today, we are, I think, approximately, if I look at the monthly sales, 7-8% at least, touching around double digits in two-wheelers, more than 20-30% in three-wheelers, more than 2-3% in passenger cars. In terms of the numbers, they look really low, but in terms of if you look at the volumes, they are much more than the largest EV markets globally. Today, we have the representation on which we can touch upon the technology side, the manufacturing side, a startup ecosystem, etc. So I think it's going to be a really very, very good discussion. Uh, I'll just start with Dr. Nikhil. And my question to Dr. Nikhil is that, Dr. Nikhil, there are recent developments, right? For example, if you look at the China, first they have a lot of control on the manufacturing. And then wherever they could not control the manufacturing, they went ahead and controlled the kind of processing technology. And it was, I think, 2023 when they started giving clues about putting more and more restrictions because they have the control. And now from 8th of this month, they have put a control on technology related to anodes and cathodes, which cannot go out of the China. Not only the technology, manufacturing technology, but also on the processing technologies, machines and equipments, etc. You have been talking about, how startup ecosystem is evolving and how this can address so many challenges which India is going to have. Do you think such challenges, which are especially related to technology intensive work, some of these startups in India are in a position to help and take India ahead and manage this situation?
Thanks a lot for asking this question. It's like when you appear in exam paper and you know this question you have prepared 1 million times. This is like the question. And the reason I'll tell you, I'll take a step back and explain you uh, what is happening in the startup ecosystem and how startup react to those challenges which you spoke about. The biggest crisis in the last 5 years we have seen the COVID crisis, and recently the Sindoor Operation Sindoor, which was, uh, and there were discussion happening in Delhi, particularly those who are living in Delhi, they will realize that we drive out of Delhi for few days or few weeks. That was a discussion for next last those 4 or 5 days, and similarly during the COVID time, there were discussion that we drive out of Delhi, go somewhere where the population is less.
In October and November, I do almost all business trips of the year. That's why.
Now, the pollution is another crisis. But whenever there is a huge crisis happening in the country, the one of the biggest opportunities also comes in. And I always say, thank God COVID happened.
Yeah.
Or thank God the war happened, or so-called the war happened. The reason is because we were we are always the happy borrower of innovation
Yeah.
and exporter of talent. We are extremely proud when a Sundar Pichai, I have, like, they're all friends, so I'll not, I'm just taking a name, so don't
Yeah.
say anything. But Sundar Pichai, Satya Nadella, the one of the best talents in the country, they go out and become the CEOs of the top industries. They make a product, they guide a product, and we buy the same product 10 times of the prices.
Yeah.
Whereas what we can do here in one tenth of the innovation.
Yes.
So the biggest crisis what we've seen in COVID, we have seen hundreds of companies, thousands of companies coming up in medtech innovation, from mask to sanitizer to hazmat suits and everything. Sindoor happened. I remember just before Sindoor, we had a call with certain agencies, including defense. They said, "How many drones you have?" I said, 17 companies in drones, but maybe 60, 70 drones. Somebody said, just 60, 70 drones. I said that if we have 600 drones, we are not a startup anymore
Yeah.
because nobody is willing to buy drones. Whenever the tender comes from the government, they look for drones from outside. They look for technology from outside. We were happy borrower of innovation from outside. My friend Sanjeev is there. He talked about the Rafael deal.
Yeah.
Uh, we are the biggest buyer of equipments from France. Can we make it our own?
Yeah.
Now, the question I think I have answered already, if you ask this, if China is putting more curbs, I say please do it.
Okay.
I think that's an opportunity for engineers, for scientists. Mother, then the crisis is always the mother of invention.
Right. Right.
The more challenges we face, and Indians culturally, I don't know why, but that's I don't. Maybe it's different in Europeans and different in other cultures. We always fight back, and we do better whenever there is a crisis. We have a habit of preparing for the exam last moment. We have a habit of doing excellence in some of the toughest exams in the world. I represent one IIT. I know we choose only 1,000 students out of 1.5 million students who appear every time. But frankly speaking, if I have to give my own exam, I will never do it. It's a crazy idea. But still, the students and thousands of students are doing every year, year by year, because they have to get in.
Yeah.
So something which there is a crisis, we always do better. So I would say thank
Yeah.
COVID, thank Operation Sindoor, and thank you China for doing it, because that's how the Indian manufacturing will wake up and
Yeah.
start doing. And I think those who are listening here, this is a challenge I am giving it to you. Make sure that we not only excel in this, but we come up with the technology, we partner with industry, we partner with academia, we partner with startups. There are hundreds and thousands of startups which are willing to do those things. They require support of industry to make it happen. And if that opportunity comes in, proper funding comes in,
Right.
I think we can achieve those solutions in not only years to come, but months to come.
Yeah, one follow-up question, Dr. Nikhil. I think we have representation of many manufacturing companies also here, and you anyway represents the top institute in India, the Engineering Institute. Is there any legacy challenge in terms of whether, is there any capability issue whether India can develop these kind of technologies, or it's just because it was available outside, easily available, low cost technology, so technology adoption is much easier than developing by itself, or is there any legacy issues by which it restricts India to develop its own technology?
So this is not a capability issue, it's a capacity issue. And I'll tell you very recently, there is a MSME who approached me doing 700 crores worth of business in Noida. They said, we 85% of products are imported from China. We do some refitment and then we sell it to the Indian market. We are a profitable company. We are doing very well. We have a factory. We have an assembly line. I said, great. I said, we want to partner with you. Do you have a product which is available next quarter? Now, how do you do innovation in next quarter?
Yeah.
China has taken 10 years, 15 years to do it. I think it's more of a capacity issue. The mindset also, there is an understanding from the large industry which is coming in.
Right.
Corporate ventures, R&D centers, they are setting up. But the MSME particularly, those who are doing anything between 100 crores to 100,500 crores, they are the one which have been borrowing or adopting innovation, and rightly so, because there were no such products available. But for them, the quarter the challenge is there, and they don't have money to invest. And just last thing I want to tell you, some of you have missed some of the biggest and the, I would say, the most important announcement has happened in the last 24 hours. The Research and Development Innovation Fund, RDI fund, for 1 lakh crore. I think that we have to give it to the government of India. The whole US ecosystem, if you look at it, is built on innovation. Some of the best companies of $5 trillion or $4 trillion have come from university innovation. So the university partnering with industry, industry is getting funding from the government, but traditionally the government of India has never ever funded the industry. It was only funding the PSUs or the government institution, but not the private industry. Now this 1 lakh crore money is available for you to repay in, hear me out, in 50 years.
50 years.
50 years of patient capital. I think we should clap for government of India for such progressive policy. Now you can partner, you can take the money, you can demonstrate that you don't have to invest your own money. You can invest in R&D, you can develop the capability and capacity, and then come with the new products which you can take it to the market.
Right. Yeah, please.
Yeah, just talking about startups and we have one data point. If you recollect Mr. Aveen's presentation, that we have 7 QEZs, which is basically metrology and metallurgy equipments, expensive equipments available at a service, as a pay-per-use service for the industry. And we have been doing it for about 12 to 15 years rather now. But in the last 3 to 4 years, post-COVID, as you mentioned, Nikhilji, we have seen at least 20% of the people who come to us are startups in drones. A lot of startups, they go to, of course, they have their first point of view would be IITs and ISCs and so on. But they have now realized that a private body is having 7 such wonderful centers where we can hasten their startup. And we see a lot of young guys talking about drones, talking about how to make it world class, defense class. They are coming to us, and that's a really nice thing.
No, I can relate to it because last year I visited your facility and I have first-hand experience. Thank you very much, Dr. Nikhil, for bringing out and clearing mostly my doubts because I have been thinking about it. Now, moving on to Dr. Narang. Dr. Narang, you started around 2015-16. Very much, relating to the viewpoint of Dr. Nikhil, I want to ask how do you see the progress? Why I'm asking is that because as Dr. Nikhil said that it's a capacity issue, not the capability issue, which means it takes a lot of time to do R&D and come up with the product, innovative product, try, test, fail and then keep improving on it. And then other global markets, because they started much in advance, a decade or 2 decade back when we started. So they have done it all right. That cycle they have completed. So because you have been buying, procuring all critical components for your manufacturing facility. So do you see improvements happening from the Indian ecosystem in terms of the supplies which you are taking?
Look, first of all, Dr. Nikhil, why do we have to be so reactive, right? I'll just say, um, you know, you guys are a lot more brighter than I am. I came from Wall Street and, decided I want to be in green energy and sustainability. Sometimes I tell people, what's the fastest way from becoming a millionaire from a billionaire? Just get into the EV business. So it'll be a very fast way. But what I want to say is, I'm from a commodity background. I was at one time one of the larger commodity traders in the world. The Chinese didn't just build EVs. They didn't just build the components. They own the commodity, right? So उनकी thinking देखिए, उनकी समझ देखिए, sir. I'm not a big fan of China, but you have to respect their thinking. हम लोग अभी रोडी बना रहे हैं, वो commodity को control करते हैं. आप DRC में जाएं, Congo में, आप Latin America में जाएं, सारी mines उनकी हैं. अब हम decide कर रहे हैं. So मेरा point ये है, we need to think through. And why? Okay, so now we have a magnets issue.
Yeah.
Do we wait for somebody to put a gun on my head, or do we think ahead? What do you think, whether it's the United States or China or anybody else, that's not going to put you in a position like this? I mean, we've got you talk about Sundar Pichai, you talk about Satya Nadellas. We got enough of them here. We got enough of them. And let me tell you, it's not just the men, it's the women, right? The Nari Shakti's 48% or 49% of this country. And believe you me, if you're going to leave them behind, we're never going to make, never going to make it. We better make sure they are much smarter than us any day of the week. But what I want to say is we have to be less reactive. In my book, and I'll come back to your question, offense is the best defense. We seem to be on defense. आज चाइना ने ये बंद कर दिया, कल उसने वो बंद कर दिया, कल यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ने चिप्स बंद कर दिए, फिर सेमीकंडक्टर बंद कर दिया. I mean, why are we, and you know what you just talked about, inventions, innovations, the R&D budgets. I mean, you go to Silicon Valley. Where was Tesla built? Where was SpaceX built? Where was half of those industries in there? Do you think everybody's talking about NVIDIA? Everybody's talking about. You know how much support the government gave that guy? I know, So, I mean, I'm just saying, there was so much money behind that guy. So I'm saying the government forget PMI, forget about all of these subsidies. Give money to R&D. Give money to universities. Give money for failure. Failure is part of learning at our universities, at our technical programs. How many people want to be electricians? How many people want to be, technical programs? Haney? We need to not just have PhDs. I want to have PhDs in technical fields, right? Dr. Ramesh can make motors. You can bring a lot of engineers. But I'm just saying, we need to have that, right? Coming back, Preetesh, the journey has been ups and downs. We've seen that. We've had policy that's like this. Kabhi PMI hai, kabhi fame hai, kabhi hai nahi. Whatever, right? Forget that. My point is, today, you have got every big boy and girl in the game. We've got Mr. Bajaj, we've got TVS, we've got Mahindra. Suman ma'am talked about how well they've done today on EVs. And we've got all the big boys and girls in the game. I like that. The startups we just built. I don't know if I call myself a startup anymore, but I'll still take that, Preetesh. Maybe thoda sa young feel karna shuru ho jaunga. But the point is that we built the runway for the planes to take off. And you know what? I'm happy to take, if I take a bullet or two or three, whether I die making the runway. But India first, a greener and a cleaner business, sustainability. But I'll also tell you, sustainability doesn't mean. I'm trying to charge up the whole environment. बहुत ठंडा चल रहा है सारे में भी बहुत दूर हैं, लेकिन environment बहुत अच्छी है. So what I'm saying is, sustainability is important, but a sustainable business is more important, right? And all the successful businessmen. Sir, आप IIT में बैठे हैं, Dr. Ramesh, Series A, B, C, D का काम नहीं है. Sustainability का धंधा है. हमने जब start किया, कितने आए, कितने गए. The point is, the supply chain is coming. All the big boys and girls have realized. And we need to be in this business of sustainability. We can be a big exporter. We can be, and not exporting human beings. It's exporting business, right? I think, I don't want, and we don't want to just give Sundar Pichai and Satya Nadella. There's a lot of successful women that have been entrepreneurs. I think they have to build a business right here in this country. We've got the education, we've got the men and women, we've got the youngest population. Forget comparing us to China. I think we have got our own DNA. You know what? अगर हम third भी हैं, तो third का एक ऐसा level होना चाहिए, जहाँ हम सब, we are proud of the third level, right? We don't need to, we don't just copy China or the United States. I don't know what Trump's gonna, if his wife is upset with him the night before, he'll do this or that. Forget about him, right? He's gonna do what he's gonna do. I respect the United States, but I'll tell you, our business, our country, EV is important. But it's not EV, it's hydrogen, It's alternate. Whether it's going to be a hybrid, Toyota thinks hybrid's going to be there. I'll work with everything that'll make a sustainable. But what we have seen is a change. And I'll tell you what, stronger companies, stronger product, and notanki come on, मैं
True,
कुछ,
true.
we have to have that. And that's important.
No, no, that's important. Most important thing you mentioned, Uday, is about India will not remain as the people exporting country or the CEOs exporting country. Now we will export the innovation as well as the products as well. And I remember recently Mukesh Ambani in one of the podcast said that now is the time when India will export millions and billions of dollars of the products and services and technology. No exporting of CEOs anymore. I mean, that will keep happening. So by taking your viewpoints, I can understand like, let's understand layer by layer, right? So for example, whether we have the consumers, I think we have enough consumers, including some of us. I still don't own EVs, which means there are some challenges. Uh, then yes, we have the consumers. Whether we have companies which can make good quality product, I think including startups as well as the larger global and Indian manufacturing companies are very well placed to make very good quality products. That's there in the market. Then whether we have this sorted supply chain. So in 2012, when I was talking to some of the companies which announced that they will make the cells in India, and when I went to them and then they said, can we you bring anodes in 15 days? Somebody was asking within a week or so, which means that was the understanding level. And today they think of buying equipments, machineries, technologies, and cells are being produced in India, which means humongous progress is there. But obviously, issues are there because it's not a legacy thing which we are doing. Coming to you, Manojji, I want to little bit understand about status of cell manufacturing in India. There are companies which have announced, and there are companies which are making cells in India. Again, they are already going in some of the products. So in entire cell ecosystem, what is the status of India? And you can particularly relate to your company, let's say, in entire value chain, what are the equipments available which can, enhance the, Avin was talking about the quality
Yeah.
aspects of it. So what all things are sorted, and probably what are things which India requires? We can go a little deeper into technical aspect.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. See, this battery manufacturing is quite complex, right? Cell manufacturing, which we have aspired to do in the last 5, 7 years. We have been directly working with about 4 to 5 companies who have invested in a lot of equipments, doing R&D, what they call as micro labs, making micro cells, qualifying it, and then testing it on road and so on. So there are about 3 or 4 companies which have gone about 70, 80% into the game, and we have supported them a lot uh, by selling to them or by the QEZs what we have, by also working with them. Like, okay, we have a wonderful R&D research team sitting in China. Even though we are a German company, for EV we are quite based out of China, and we have a stream of application development guys who work with the big names in China, develop a list of solutions, and those solutions have been indirectly been given to the Indian startups. That is one point. We have also had about 7, 8 announcements. We have also had not large corporates, but people from construction industry who started putting up labs, and they want to be a part of the BESS chain or the stationary chain, if not the EV chain. So there is a lot of investment which is coming from first time people who are coming into this field and from corporates and so on. As far as we are concerned, we would like to be part of the mission to say that not one cell manufactured in India would fail in the field causing a human damage or fire or anything, which is the most critical fear what people have about the quality. So our solutions start with designing the cell, what you call as a recipe development. So that is something which is critical, because what you make for China may not work in India, what you make for US or in the cold countries may not work for India. So our solutions start with recipe development, which is not still there in much in India. And then the manufacturing chain, qualifying the raw materials which come in from elsewhere, qualification of suppliers, qualification of what is promised as a active material and what is coming, and then into the chain of manufacturing of cell. After the cell is made, then you make modules. So we are in the complete chain. We can assure and stamp Zeiss quality using a plethora of equipments what we have, which I welcome all of you to come to our office to have a look. We do have some battery experts who can support you in all this. And believe me, if there is any failure anywhere, we know that we will get a call and people come to our QVC. So that's the level of integration what we have with these companies.
Yeah, this is really extremely important. You know, I was talking to Vijayanandji on one of my sessions, and he said, I asked whether India will remain on the technology development from outside. He said that no, 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 this is the beginning of the industry, and in the beginning, we definitely are going to be dependent on the technology elsewhere, but later on, I think India will have its own technology. And if I recall, the challenges mostly cell manufacturers are facing, because there are companies which have the muscle power, and they think that large amount of investments can make things easier. But I think cell manufacturing, as you said, is very, very complex thing. And it's really important to understand why it's so complex.
There is
So
just an analogy. What I normally say is cooking for 5 people with the same recipe is okay. But cooking for 50 people, I don't think you can do it with the same recipe. You need a lot of different things. And that's a challenge from having a recipe with a micro
yes.
lithium cell and doing it at scale for 1 million cells a month.
Correct.
It's a
So that
totally
is one
different.
type of company, and second type of companies are there which are building actually technology from the base. But one question they are always asking, I mean, they're wanting some kind of expert who can put a stamp whether they are doing things right or not. So I think there the companies like yours and maybe Tata Elxsi are in a very good position to support these companies. But I think that the growth is really impressive. Companies are doing it, and in future, and they know that whatever sales they are going to make are going to be much more costlier in the beginning compared to the China and other market, but still they are putting the investments.
Right.
So it's a great thing that your company is there in a situation to put this stamp. Now moving on to Dr. Ramesh, I think everybody is doctor here other than you.
Than me, yeah.
Yeah, other than me, you and me. So Dr. Ramesh, when I, evaluate, let's say your company, or when I try to understand more about your company, uh, the promise is that you can really develop motors and maybe solutions regarding other components. You also talk about rare earth free motors. So it all looks fascinating, and it looks like you can solve all kind of challenges. So just wanted to understand, especially about the rare earth free motors or so, what is the development and what kind of support? Is it related to only design and development, or you have capability in terms of manufacturing, whether supporting some startup companies, they can support to OEMs eventually? And second part of my question of tracking of the batteries end to end, what is happening in Europe as battery passport? What are we doing in India? So if you can address two questions.
Sure, thanks, Preetesh. The first thing is Tata Elxsi is a group of Tata group, right? So we all work under one umbrella, different companies. The motto is compete among yourselves and compete with the rest of the world also. So that is a very good kind of thing. So each company has a certain domain of working. Someone is doing design, someone is doing manufacturing, someone is OEM, tier one, like that. So we have some other partners in Tata same umbrella which are doing the manufacturing. Regarding the rare earth free motor design and all these kind of things, as Udasan and everyone has told, sustainability has no longer become a buzzword, it is a way of living, right? So until unless you start preaching and eating sustainability in your food, right? The battery system, cell system you say, in Bangalore, South India, you eat sambar, right? Will you eat sambar and rasam in Delhi, Punjab? They will have aloo ka paratha with makhan. You go to East, they will have chicken, right? You go to Gujarat, they will have chini in dal, right? So different people, different environment. What I mean to say, depending why these cultures came. These cultures came because of the environment. Environment of north is changed from east to west to south. Will the same battery system, same BMS will work in Trichy, same in Jalandhar, same in Guwahati, same in Surat, same in Indore? Certainly not. It's not Europe, same kind of environment is there, floating everywhere, maximum temperature difference is very less. Here you have plus 44, to 0 degree also, right? And the terrains are something like that, ups and downs, 30 degree also gradient is there. So all these things come in picture when we design all these kind of things. And rare earth is a kind of thing where the dependency on, I'll directly say, on China will be reduced. So rare earth is one of the thing, induction is another one. So why to go on magnet, whatever be rare earth, free, ferrite, forget it. What you have, eat that, right? If you have
Yes.
gehu, eat roti. If you are having chawal, eat chawal and sambar. So if you are having plenty of iron in your country, why do not, and copper, why do not go with induction? Ferrite is an step back from permanent magnets. Certainly, there is a world beyond that. And whatever is there on your garden or in your field, the option is eat that only. So, the culture of PMSM, BLDC, all these came from when China started exporting and developing all these. People started saying 98% efficiency, power density is this, that. It is not like that. Induction and ferrite can have, there are axial motors depending upon winding configuration and topology. They can beat and outshine them. The thing is, start believing in yourself. Believe who you are. You are leader, you are king. So, not king, I'll say one word.
So, which,
Don't walk on the road
right.
as if you rule the world.
Yeah.
Walk as if you don't care who rules the world.
Yeah,
Right.
which motor technology makes us ruling the world, Dr. Ramesh?
Technically, if you speak, ferrite will be the first, but low cost, high efficiency, it is axial induction motors.
Okay.
Totally anywhere, if you, any motor is broken down, right? Any problem is there, you can go to very nearest shop. You do not have to send it to China or Pune.
Really important, yes.
So that should be the point.
Yeah,
The ceiling fan
very
is burned, right?
Yes.
How much time does it take? 4 hours.
Yeah,
If
just,
a car motor burns, how much time it takes? It takes weeks.
yeah,
Why? Because that expertise is not there. What
correct.
Uday san told, being a doctor, doctor is not that capital D and small R. It's an attitude of living your life. It's how you perceive बासमती चावल है या दूसरा चावल है, किसको मुझे कब खाना चाहिए. It's a perception, way of living. The last point, the last question which you said is battery circular economy. So sustainability has come in, and it has come in EV also. And in EV, a major portion of the degradation and waste is batteries. Mining and all those unethical part of things are done by China in Africa and all those places. Very poor ESG and all those reports are there, CO2 levels, manhandling of humankinds. So recently Europe has come up with a thing called passport, battery passport. In India, Gadkari has started, it will come in picture, battery Aadhaar. So Niti Aayog has started that feature also. So it is just track and trace right from where the mining was done, what was the ethical point, whether miners were involved or not, how many women were involved, whether they were paid their right wages or not. From there, what is the cell composition, what is the size, what is the chemistry, two module, two pack. Go to OEM, send it, continuous monitoring, you scan the code. After certain life, you can check its RUL, then you will get, अच्छा SOH थोड़ा कम हो रहा है, RUL कम हो गया, तो you should go for secondary use, BESS. BESS is there. BESS में भी use नहीं हो रहा है, then recycling is there. So circular economy, mining से start होके 100% first battery बनी, पूरी circle करने के बाद, how much you are giving back to that circle. So that is battery passport. And all these things are kuti, very small. The main is your attitude. How well behave are you in the terms of sustainability will define your business, your work profile and everything. And I salute Uday Narang for that. We have been working for that. Many years I have seen him. He's outstanding and he's awesome for that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I just want to add to that. I know maybe time. I really want all of you to understand. I've had the honor to work with, and not work. I learned from Dr. Ramesh. He was at OSM for a while. I wasn't big enough. He's too smart, so he moved to Tata Elxsi. But the things that he said, extremely important. He said some very important things. And Dr. Ramesh, I want to say one thing. Absolutely, the country is diverse. There's an opportunity there. Because if we can make products here, I'm going to Africa now. You must have known. So we're going to hit West Africa, East Africa. All the experiences we have learned here, we can use for the world. I keep coming back. The experiences, jo bhi India mein seekhoge, I'll tell you, you can use it anywhere in the world. So I'm saying the points that you hit, I cannot agree more. I second it. ऐसे smart log bhi yahan baithe. This is what we need to use for the advantage for the future.
Today you seems much smarter, you know. I have at least heard like more than I think 20 times you saying if you are a billionaire and you want to be a millennial, be in EV business. So in last 1 decade, how much you lost? Did you had 100 billions?
I think I'll tell you what. The last decade has been.
And you don't need to answer it.
It's not about the money, and I want to add to that. For me, it's about putting India first.
Yes.
It always has been. It always will be. Doesn't mean, my mom says I'm mad, but it's always about putting India first. And I feel whatever time I have left on this planet, I'll put India first, and then we'll see.
I think EV business is in the samurai mode.
Yeah.
They are always in the warrior mode as of today, and probably they will come out victorious. I think that is it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can continue discussing with such amazing panel, but we have obviously limited time. Maybe we can take 1 or 2 questions and then we conclude. But I'm really thankful that all of you joined and Samurai, Mismix Media to organize such a wonderful evening. Weather is so nice. Maybe a dedicated event on electric mobility. And one missing point is leadership with EV. Technical and non-technical, so maybe you can have a leadership program clubbed with this event next year. With these thoughts, I conclude the panel. Thank you very much for your patient hearing, and thank you very much all of you to joining this.
Thank you, gentlemen, for that amazing session. Now, I'd like to call forward Ms. Nikita Sharma, the marketing head, Marpos, to please come forward and honor our esteemed panelists, please. Ladies and gentlemen, for that amazing session, the old gentlemen, can we hear our big hand, everybody? Please put your hands together. Thank you. Mr. Preetesh Singh, thank you very much for moderating the session, sir. Dr. Uday, Narang, a round of applause to him. And can I call forward Mr. Manoj Sundaram to please come forward. Dr. Nikhil Agarwal. And Dr. Ramesh Singh. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it out with a big hand once again to all of our panelists. Thank you very much once again.